Big deal. That's always went with the territory. I'll see you in Disneyland.
My defense, because I am such a part of it. I mean, I obviously I'm going to bear the consequences, so why not bear the responsibility?
Okay, sir, is she still alive?
You alive?
When was the last time you saw her?
Mama? I killed Dean.
Brian?
Ma'am?
What are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Lord.
This should be out the day after Christmas.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, but we're still...
Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas.
We're recording before Christmas, but...
Yeah.
So we got our Christmas wear going on
all
right here.
Decked out.
Yeah, deck out
Shannon's
in our holiday
dressed like
spirit.
she's going to the White House, like she's here, and I'm, dressed like a...
She just got out of bed, but that's okay. She looks cute. No.
Adorable. Adorable.
Cute.
So today we are talking about a story that I saw online.
When I was going through it, it's so common, more common than I even realized how many women are murdered when they're pregnant.
Yeah. And once I started reading, I was like, I got obviously taken back to the Chris Watts case.
Into our...
And this
into
woman
our,
that was...
Chris Watts and our other one that we do. Good Lord, I have no memory. Scott Peterson.
Oh, Scott Peterson.
Yeah, I always think of Scott Peterson too when I hear about these.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah, so it's a really sad story, but it just kind of made me think, like, this happens so often. Like, why? Like, what brings people to this?
I don't understand it at all. I just think, and then do they think, how's their life going to get any better?
In the Watts case, we know that there was
infidelity.
Hi, Mama. Okay, we have a little.
Kitty
hold
cat.
on.
I know she wants attention.
She wants my attention. Hold on.
She said, "Hi, Gina." Yeah, she was wanting attention really bad.
So in the Watts case, we obviously know that there was a mistress involved.
Yes.
Nicole Kessinger. In this case,
in the Peterson case as well.
Yes. Yeah. Amber Fry. In this case, I don't believe that there was anything of that nature going on. I don't know, because this is such a recent case. This just happened October of this year. So just a few months ago. And things are still kind of unfolding
and still coming out
as we speak.
But I recently was also watching another story about it where there was this guy, and I believe it was on Netflix actually, where this guy kills his girlfriend because he doesn't want anybody to know that he was having a baby with her. So like, she's pregnant. Oh. He doesn't want anybody to know. He was a firefighter. And he kills her in a house fire, sets this big house fire, and she's pregnant, and she's only 2 days away. It was right before Thanksgiving, and she's only like a couple of days away from being induced. So I think
oh my God,
was
so she
Thursday.
was pregnant.
She was pregnant. Thursday was Thanksgiving, and Friday she was being induced, and he called it a deadline. Like it was a deadline he was trying to meet. And so they thought that was really weird. But and so I just wonder why these men think that their life is going to get better as far than having a kid. Like, I'm going to go murder her, but...
And they're not going to get caught, and they think like they're going to talk their way out of it. It's just so... I don't know. I guess... Yeah. I don't know. I just can't figure it out. And so this case sounded a lot like that to me and kind of caught my attention. As we know, the Watts case is still being talked about, all over, and hopefully one day Nicole Kessinger will be, I don't know,
held responsible for some of her being part of it, being part of it, hiding at least minimum, like we always said, hiding evidence and withholding
something
evidence
of
and stuff. So
of that sort. So
after the murder.
So there will obviously have to be updates on this story because his arraignment has been moved to like the end of January. So
okay.
Yeah.
So this needs to be updated.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Speaking of updates, we have an update on Hana Kobayashi.
Yes.
And so
we've been following her case.
Yeah, we did an episode on her last week or a couple weeks ago. And she is now back in the United States.
Yes. And I also want to give an update because we kind of were asking during our episode, what's the family going to do with that GoFundMe money? Like they should give it back. And apparently the family has said that they are going to issue refunds. You just have to submit a request for a refund. And that's just the policy of GoFundMe. It's not the family's policy. It's not like they're trying to avoid giving back the refunds, but it's a policy GoFundMe has that you have to submit a request for a refund and then they're going to honor those refunds and give the money back.
Which is exactly what should happen.
Yeah. And if, I don't know, they were trying to do it for like court case or whatever
at
they
first
wanted.
They said that they were going to keep the money and put it towards lawyer fees and stuff like that, which it is not what those people donated their money for.
Yeah.
So.
And I know some people have different opinions on it. I read a lot of different opinions where some people said like, no, let them keep the money because they need to, bury the dad or whatever. But I feel like people should make their decision based off what they're going to use the money for. 100%. So have that choice. So
okay.
Yeah.
You want to say hi, Mochi, and then I'll put you down?
Yeah, it's my baby girl.
Okay. Say hi, Mochi. Look in the camera.
Yeah. She's like, I am camera shy. Yeah.
Yeah,
she begs for attention.
Yeah, she was
begging for my attention fine as long as you're not trying to hold her back
today. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, this woman's name is Christa Bauer Gilley. So Christa attended Clemson University and rushed Alpha Chi Omega. She graduated with a degree in public health and went on to earn a doctorate in physical therapy from the University of Pittsburgh. She became a board-certified clinical specialist in cardiovascular and pulmonary physical therapy after serving several years as a traveling physical therapist. So this girl was like super smart. Super smart, had her shit together. So Christa found her dream job at Memorial Hermann Hospital in Texas, medical. And we're just going to say again, everything happens in Texas. I'm just going to say that under my breath.
It's because it's just a big state, let's say, with a huge population.
Okay.
But I don't know why those Texas stories always come up on our on our radar, but okay.
They do. Yeah, and that's not one of the reasons why I picked it. She cared for critically ill patients with heart and lung complications alongside colleagues who became her work family. She was a fierce patient advocate, developing and implementing protocols to improve their mobility. She later became an adjunct instructor of physical therapy at the University of Texas Medical Branch and at Pitt, using her mentor skills to nurture and train the next generation of physical therapists. So she met Lee, who is her husband. The couple met around 10 years before they got married. A post on Charleston Wedding Magazine said, after going on one date and then going their separate ways, the two reconnected 8 years later in Boston for their second date. Lee flew from San Diego to Houston 11 months later, where he surprised Christa with a proposal.
So less than a year later, he proposed.
Right.
But they had
knew
met.
They knew each other.
Previously.
Yeah. They get married and they are happy. So we think. On Monday, October 7th, Houston police officers responded to a report of a suicide at the home of Lee Gilley, 38, and his wife, Christa Bauer Gilley, 38. Lee said he and Christa, she was 9 weeks pregnant. At first, when I read this, I read 9 months pregnant, and I was like, oh, you got to be kidding. Not that it matters either way, but I'm just thinking So she was 9 weeks pregnant with their third child, were home that day with their two small children, and were arguing. Lee told police his wife went to bed, and 3 hours later, he found her unresponsive and called 911 while he performed CPR on her. Paramedics rushed Christa to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. Lee told police his wife had overdosed. Hospital staff told officers that Christa had bruising and apparent trauma to her face. Besides that, both a hospital physician and the medical examiner detail injuries consistent with strangulation. The Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences ruled her manner of death a homicide and the cause of death due to compression of her neck. Noting that Christa was 9 weeks pregnant, the bond order also alleged that Lee admitted his wife was not suicidal and not a drug user.
Wife overdosed. He found her unresponsive and tried to perform CPR. First responders rushed to the home off Austin Street. Detectives say Gilley's wife died at the hospital. Doctors found Christa Gilley had bruising and apparent trauma to her face. Her autopsy ruling out suicide and instead proving she was strangled to death. The results also revealing she was 8 weeks pregnant. Gilley was arrested 4 days after his wife's death. Christian Capitan is a defense attorney not affiliated with this case. He says Gilley's movements after his wife's death and before his arrest will be pivotal for this case. Records show Gilley later admitted his wife was not suicidal and not
being pregnant.
She committed suicide. She overdosed. But yet he says she was not suicidal,
right,
and she never used drugs.
Yeah.
But also, did he not think that they weren't going to examine her body? He just taking his word for it?
Well,
I don't understand why he would think they were just going to take his word for it and not perform any type of testing or
again, I think
autopsy.
People don't think of this stuff, or they just think like, oh, it can't happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to get caught. I'm going to get away. Like, all this stuff is just so, it doesn't make any sense. Or maybe they're like in the moment thinking like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. They get caught up or something, but we see so many cases like this. So Lee was arrested on Friday, October 11th and charged with capital murder. He was booked into the Harris County Jail after being denied bond. He was released from jail Monday, October 22nd after posting a $1 million bond, which I don't get it. I don't understand.
And just so people know, like if they put a $1 million bond, I believe you only need, what is it, 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So really they're only asking
he's not
for
posting $1 million.
Yeah.
But still, so it says under his bond conditions, he is prohibited from going within 200 feet of his home and contacting his 2 young children. Okay. So why don't we just keep him in jail?
Yeah. I don't even know. I think anybody with murder I'm sorry, but Texas, in Houston, you're too close to the Mexican border.
Oh, like, for sure.
I don't know. I feel
like most of the time too, they probably make them give up their passports. But still, it doesn't. I don't understand. If you can't go within 200 feet of your home,
I don't think $100,000 is enough for. That's just saying
absolutely not.
Her death was worth only $100,000.
Yeah,
like
it's just
that's the risk you're taking for this person to escape.
To flee, of course.
I don't understand. Yeah.
So he was supposed to be arraigned on November 20th, but that turned into a bond modification. He requested to leave the state of Texas, which the judge denied.
Of course.
Thankfully. And now his arraignment will be January 28th, 2025, which is, a little over a month away.
Is it because he wants to go back to San Diego? Because that's where he's originally from. Maybe his family's there.
Maybe. I don't know.
And Texas has the death penalty. In California, we do or don't? We don't now, right?
No.
So, yeah.
But I was reading like some Reddit posts about this guy.
Reddit rabbit hole.
Yeah. And he seems to be very cocky. He sounds like he's very arrogant. That's what a lot of people said. And in his initial bond hearing, when he went before the judge, he was talking to the judge like, he said something like, I want bond today. Like, yeah,
he's demanding.
Yeah, but and a lot of people said that he has a LinkedIn profile, and there were a couple things that people said that they noticed that he was, as soon as he got out on bond, that he was right back on LinkedIn liking posts and stuff like that.
It's insane.
But it says that he repeatedly liked posts about women staying at home and having traditional roles instead of developing their careers. Just days before his wife's death, he liked a post that read, "I no longer trust women in work environments. Men are easy for me to screen because I'm one of them. Women, not as easy, especially given how in modern times they put their happiness before anything else, and it's not really obvious at first. They're downright dangerous to your business and your family."
So I'm sorry, you've been arrested for murdering your wife.
Yeah.
And now you're bashing women?
Yeah. So
on social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just
so it's just it was just really interesting to me how there were a lot of parallels between this and the Watts case. And obviously we don't know what will come out of this. I think as time goes on, we're going to learn more about obviously his background. There's not a lot out there right now because this is a fairly new case.
I'm curious what his ex-girlfriends say about him.
Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of people on the Reddit posts and stuff that I was reading that knew her and said that they had gone to college with her, gone to high school with her, worked with her, and that she was so amazing. And her family said that she was very nurturing. She was very helpful to everybody. And of course, that's usually what happens. You know, when things like this happen, obviously people aren't going to be like, she was a horrible human being. But, you know, I mean, unfortunately, it seems like these are the people that it happens to.
Yeah. I feel like maybe they get jealous of their wife's happiness, ability to be independent, because I feel like that with the Chris Watts case too. She was very independent. She had her own business going.
Mm-hmm.
They're smart women.
Yeah.
You know, we have the case of Scott Peterson too. Very beautiful, very likable. A lot of people liked him. He was the quiet, shy one in the corner.
Yep.
So,
and with the Chris Watts case too, you know, you see a change in him, losing weight, going to the gym.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, once he started getting that attention, then, you know, like, okay, now the women want me and all of that. And so that comes into play. But I've seen a lot of videos recently where people are doing, like, Chris Watts is becoming, like, it kind of like died down a little bit, and now it's getting hot again. So
yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you think she'll ever Nicole
Kessinger, I don't think she'll ever come forward.
Do you think that anything's going to happen with the trial?
I don't think anything's
You don't think they'll have a trial?
I don't think they're ever going to go after her. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think it's a done deal. They have who they want. The case is closed, and I don't think they're going to reopen it for anybody else, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. No, I feel the same.
Yeah.
I do. I feel the same, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to, you know, keep an eye on this case and see what happens. But I'm really curious to see what comes out about this guy's background.
Yeah, and learn more about him, and maybe we need to do some kind of case study on the three. Like, what do all these men have in common? Why do they think? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more men out there that have done this. That it's not like there's more than
it happens more than
you want to admit. So
no, for sure, and it's and a lot of stuff we probably don't hear about.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
The Watts case was, you know, and Scott Peterson is a huge case.
Well, there was the other Peterson as well.
Drew Peterson. Yeah, killing all his wives.
Yes. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about the Drew Peterson case.
Yeah. So.
I also wanted to talk about, there is a new I don't know if you want to call it a documentary, 2 parts on Peacock, the Richard Ramirez files.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen it?
I started watching it. I haven't finished it, but I did start watching it.
Yeah, it's only 2 episodes, and our friend Gil Carrillo was in that one too.
Awesome.
Briefly, but I had never seen or heard an interview with his niece before, and his niece is on this particular
Ramirez's
one.
niece?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far then, obviously.
Yeah, she's interviewed and she tells, how he was, how he treated her. They were very close. She explains how the family found out that he was the Night Stalker.
Oh, okay. So I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And I hesitate all the time because I feel like true crime is just like, like a new thing or not a new thing. It's just like the thing. And so people are just pumping out all these like true crime documentaries, and it's just the same information regurgitated over and over. And so I was kind of, do I really want to watch this?
That's
because
why I was like,
because
or have I seen this before? That's always my thought. Like,
well, exactly. That's exactly. My friend Noemi texted me and was like, have you seen this? Is this new? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
And just like the same thing with the John Bonet thing. And, It's like the same stuff over and over and over. But this, I feel, was done very well. And it's basically just, it's all of the hundreds of hours of tapes that this one guy, I think his name is Philip Carlo, he has hours of tapes of interviews with Richard Ramirez, with his brothers, with his niece, and they also kind of dive into his marriage to Doreen, which is, I feel like she kind of fell off the face of the earth. Like, she doesn't do interviews anymore. She doesn't, want people to know who she is. And it reveals on there, which I never knew why she just kind of disappeared. But in 2009, when they had the DNA and they didn't go through with the trial or anything. He was already in prison. Yeah. He wasn't going anywhere, and they didn't want to put children going through a court trial and everything. But his DNA matched a murder and a R word of a young child, a girl. And once that came out, she said, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But it was okay for him to do everything else.
I was going to say that was the part that, yeah.
I was like, okay. And I was really,
well, at a certain point, it just gets embarrassing, I would think.
Well, it's really interesting to see how she justifies stuff. Like when she's talking about and they ask her, like, do you think that he's innocent? Do you think that he did this? And she's like, I just really don't think about it. But then towards the end, she kind of says, like, I think he's innocent. Like, she really thought that he was innocent and didn't, or maybe in her mind she did or whatever. And it just took that one thing of like a little, I mean, this guy.
Well, maybe it was the DNA too.
But he admitted that he did this. Like,
yeah.
He was, and they have like a friend of his on there that they interview. And he's like, I've told these women that are so infatuated with him. I mean, this guy had hundreds, like 600 women that would, once he opened up his visitation at the prison, he would get just all kinds of women wanting to come in and visit him. And his friend was like, do these women not realize, like, he's gonna kill you?
Yeah, he murdered
He's gonna
women.
kill you.
Yeah, he's
like,
he's like, come here.
Yeah. But
he didn't murder women because they pissed him off. He murdered them because he has an issue with women.
Yeah,
like in general. Like,
yeah,
you can be nice to, like, I'm just curious why he didn't murder his wife. Like, but it's always funny because we always kind of
because he was already in prison when he got married.
Oh,
he got married in prison.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got married in prison.
Because I'm thinking, but we had Huberman. What's his name? Huberman, the one.
Huberman. Yeah,
he
Long
was
Island
married.
serial killer.
Yeah, killing women, and yet he was married.
Yeah,
and what the heck is my Mochi doing?
I know.
I've never seen her do this. What is happening here?
I don't know. She's
Mochi, I'm so glad
she wants to be on camera, apparently.
Oh my God. Oh, please. Can she flip off and land on Gina's head or something?
No.
Please.
Mochi, don't you dare, Mochi.
She's what is she doing?
Mochi.
I know. She's crazy. So
yeah, so anyway, it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 episodes.
So I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So it's a nice little holiday watch, you know.
Yeah. Christmas Day.
Yeah, if you don't have anything to do New Year's Eve, flip it on. So
and with that being said, have a happy New Year's Eve too.
Be safe.
Yeah,
for
be
sure.
safe out there. Absolutely.
Stay home.
Yeah.
It's not worth the parties.
No.
Just stay home. If you want to drink and get plastered,
stay at home.
Do it at home.
Yeah.
It's
Watch
not
the ball
worth
drop.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, then we will see you guys next year.
After the new year,
yeah, enjoy yourself. Be safe. Hope you guys had good holidays and stay warm.
And thank you for continuing to join us.
And to support us. We really we really appreciate it. I can't believe that we're still doing this.
I know.
Another year.
So
but yeah, so we love it and we're having fun and we can't wait to see what next year brings us.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.